Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. Guys, we have a ton of things to go over. By the end of this video, there is going to be so much information jam-packed that I really do think it's going to open a lot of individuals' eyes to what's happening behind the scenes with the traditional financial system. And remember, this is on a global scene. So as we do look at what's happening around payments and payment technology, this has been a long-term thing. This has been happening for a while. Again, patience is a virtue around the space. Technology does move very fast, but the thing is that patience is still needed. What we are seeing is the evolution of our global financial system in real time. And this is not going to happen immediately. It's going to happen over time, but it's going to be very, very exciting to watch this unfold, because I do believe that there are significant players tied to this, like Ripple, as well as various other players. So with that in mind, if you guys do enjoy this video, by the end of this video, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. So with that, let's dive into this. So Swift versus Ripple. For the longest time, it has been a battle of who is going to win, Swift or Ripple. I've made various videos talking about this and talking about how they are very complementary to each other. The best thing to really kind of look at is the fact that Swift needs Ripple. Ripple doesn't need Swift. Okay? So if tomorrow Swift closed their doors and said, all right, we're done, it won't affect Ripple at all. The only beneficial thing that Swift has with Ripple is the fact that if Swift wanted to integrate Ripple, that would make their job a lot easier, because it will instantly plug and play to 11,000 financial institutions. But what's happening, in my opinion, is something very interesting. So as we do look at Swift today in numbers, they are very, very large. They are a giant around financial messaging and transactions, you name it. We actually do see 8.4 plus billion financial messages, 100% SwiftNet availability, 200 plus countries and territories connected, 99.999% FIN availability, and 11,000 plus institutions connected to Swift. Now, we do know that Swift is trying to also upgrade their network. They want to make payments faster, all that kind of stuff. They are actually utilizing blockchain technology. They're trying to source the power of blockchain technology as well. But the biggest problem is settlement, right? I've talked about settlement and why it's crucial to focus on settlement rather than faster payments. You can get faster payments all day long, but instant settlement, it's something that is unheard of. And as we do look at Swift, remember that they are still a centralized system. They are still very reliant on what the US dollar is doing, because this is a US dominated financial system. This is why we are seeing Swift kind of get thrown to the side from a lot of other nations because of the sanctions that Swift has put on these nations. So Swift is still a US weapon, if you will, in the financial system. So as we do look at that, like it is losing a lot of traction. And I do think that there will be new financial networks that rise to overthrow Swift. Now, could that be RippleNet? 100%. As we do look at things happening right now around the financial system, I've been talking to you guys about a few names. Volante, Finastra, there's even, Accenture, which we will talk about. But there's a few other ones on this list. ECS Fin, ACI Worldwide, and Temenos. Now, shout out to Chad Steingraber over on Twitter. We do see the providers are the most important part. Volante, Finastra, ECS Fin, ACI Worldwide, Temenos, all RippleNet, right? Plug and play. And we do see from ISO 20022, let's do it over on Twitter. We do see Ripple partner Volante, according to 2023 Barometer survey, the #1 preferred approach to connectivity to FedNow is via a service provider. And yeah, it is like, I don't think people realize how big of a deal this is. And although, yes, like this is not going to, say XRP or anything like that. By the way, this is not going to change the value of XRP. The biggest misconception around FedNow is the fact that on launch day, XRP is going to be injected into the system and all of a sudden the value of XRP is going to skyrocket. No, that is extremely false. As we look at FedNow, The biggest thing about ISO 20022 and these connections with Volante, ACI, Temenos, all of these other big players is the fact that it opens the door for big banks and even small banks to utilize this type of technology. At first, though, there's not going to be cross-border transactions or things like that. Remember, this is still a new service, so they are going to run a lot of tests. They're going to test initially at first before it does go fully live, and we will see those, cross-border payments and things like that. Now, as we look at Ripple and XRP, why won't this change the value immediately? It's very simple. On-demand liquidity. As you look at XRP and you're utilizing XRP in on-demand liquidity, there's no sellers on the other side of those transactions, meaning that it's not going to change the value of XRP. In order to have the value change, you need to have a loser on the other side of the transaction. And when I say that, it's not a negative thing. I see a lot of people post like charts where you have like a weird wick on another exchange where Bitcoin goes to like, $200,000 or XRP skyrockets to a certain amount. And it's usually a glitch, right? But a lot of people are like, wow, whoever sold that, candle wick got extremely lucky or wealthy or whatever. No, because guess what? In order for them to sell that candle, you need to have somebody buying on the other end of that high price. With on-demand liquidity, you don't have somebody buying on the other end, meaning you don't have, somebody losing on the other end of those transactions. So what does on-demand liquidity do to the XRP value? Well, it creates a stable floor for XRP. This is where you get that idea of a stable coin-like asset. The best thing about XRP, though, is that once we do have a large portion of adoption around on-demand liquidity with XRP, which is not going to happen immediately, but once we do have that, what happens is you have a lot of demand from the retail sector, from the institutional grade sector with on-demand liquidity. All that combined does create an incredible amount of growth for XRP in the value-wise, which is also why I've talked about, we could see a 3-4 digit XRP. It's not unheard of. The only issue is that a lot of people can't wrap their mind around XRP hitting those higher valuations because of market cap. But market cap gets thrown out of the picture when you do have large amounts of transactions being pushed utilizing XRP, and then combined with retail demand, and then combined with the XRP ledger use cases that are also catering to tokenization as a service and things like that. All of that is an incredible amount of demand for XRP as a token. That's why when I look at the supply of, 100 billion, I don't get too scared away. I actually think that the supply is perfect for the use cases behind XRP. But remember that the significant value comes from trading, comes from people buying XRP at those higher valuations, but we won't see that until we see XRP rise in value. Now, what will create the value for XRP rising? Utility. Utility will. And on-demand liquidity is a great way to build a stable floor so that XRP only really goes up in value. But it's not going to just be a straight line up. You'll have those, wicks where it does go down a little bit, but it's going to be a stable floor like it has been for a very long time so far, right? Like we've been riding the waves from like 20 cents all the way to like $2 almost. And, we came back down to about like 30 cents. And now we're still riding the waves at around like 50 cents. So to me personally, I think that, the long-term growth of XRP is going to be very significant, once we do see a lot of these network effects grow and become a real deal. But we do see down here that the 2023 Faster Payments Barometer shows that interest in faster payments is rising rapidly, with FedNow soon to join the clearinghouse RTP as a pathway to instant 24/7 account-to-account transfers. Financial institutions are clearly prioritizing interoperability in their payments modernization journeys. And we do see that from SVP, Global Head of Payments as a Service at Volante, it is not surprising that the number one preferred approach to connectivity, according to the barometer, is via a service provider that can quickly connect institutions to multiple networks. And yes, this is a crucial thing. Now, again, as we do look at this, right, you have a ton of these major players already on RippleNet. This is why I say, the future is not Swift. If the future wants to be Swift, then Swift will need to implement RippleNet. They will have to plug and play into RippleNet as well. Like I said, Swift is the one backed up into a corner, not Ripple. Swift is old age technology. We have new age technology here. Now, of course, as we do look at this, who are some of these big players? Well, it's very simple. We'll start with Temenos, right? So Temenos, they have 3,000 financial institutions already on board in 145 countries. And it's claimed to be used by 41 of the top 50 banks worldwide. Now, we do know that Temenos T24, this is their banking package that was launched in 2003. That's right, 2003. This is a big player because as we do go back to Temenos, I have two articles here. The first one was written back in June of 2015. So now we're going back 8 years ago, almost a decade ago. Mind you, this is how slow things actually move around the financial system. Things are happening, but it takes some time. And I get it, right? Everyone hates waiting. But this is why we also diversify within the space and we make a ton of wealth on other assets as well, while we see the connections being built. And remember, XRP will still have gradual increases, like how we've seen to almost $2. We will see those increases. And if you want to take profit and reinvest it back into XRP, if it does come back down in price, that's totally fine. That's up to you. But my bag of XRP, my large bag of XRP, I will never touch. I do have a trade bag of XRP that I, just kind of mess around with. But for the most part, XRP, I just hold it. I will hold it for a very long time because I do believe that this will have a significant adoption cycle for it. And once utility really is shined upon within the space, that's when we really will see XRP skyrocketing in value. Now, within this, there's a few things that they do quote. They talk about how its technology can increase the efficiency of transferring value domestically and cross-border, stuff like that. There's a lot of things around this that they do mention, but the one quote that really stuck to me was, "We think this is a fundamental shift in how value can be transported. This isn't about creating a better post office. It's a fundamentally different way of transferring value." And yes, what we are seeing is the rise of the Internet of Value, changing the way that value is created, moved, settled, you name it. This is one of the biggest innovations that we have around financial technology and financial innovation. And like I said, Temenos, they've been working with Ripple for a while. Temenos T24 integration is a big milestone for Ripple. And we do see a few quotes here. This was actually Deloitte. There's an enormous potential for banks to leverage disruptive technologies to make their existing payment processes faster, cheaper, and more secure. Innovative financial institutions are aware of this and are looking for ways to integrate their core systems with this disruptive technologies such as DLT or even blockchain. And yes, like Ripple, I'm telling you guys, Ripple has been around for well over a decade. They have been creating these significant connections and networking with these large banks and these banking infrastructures. Like, remember, when you look at some of these names, these are not major banks. No, these are infrastructures that were created and developed around the banking sector. Temenos, 3,000 financial institutions. Okay, we look at ACI. ACI, well, first off, they have 80,000 merchants. They have 9 of the top 10 banks. They have thousands of organizations, 1,500 plus banks, intermediaries, and merchants preventing fraud with our solutions. Like, this is an absolute giant around the world of finance and financial technology. And they're in many industries. They are, spanning around the payments ecosystem, as you guys do see here. They are a global initiative around the banking sector as well. These are thousands of banks connected to these networks. And when you look at ACI, they also did post something back a while ago with ACI and Swift. So this is actually pretty interesting. So ACI supports around 9% of global Swift traffic and approximately 30% in the US. ACI offers services to banks around the world wanting to connect and leverage the Swift's Global Payment Initiative, GPI. ACI also supports real-time schemes around the world, meaning that any bank can use real-time payment systems to support Swift, Fin, GPI, DLT, e.g. Ripple, wire, and immediate payments. So as we do look at this, like, we already know that ACI has been working with Ripple for a very long time. And in fact, if we actually go all the way back, I don't know when this article was posted. I believe it was like around 2018, 2019. They're quoting 2018 and 2017 within this, or 2016 and 2017. So I'm thinking like 2018 maybe. But nonetheless, we do see a few things around banking and stuff like that. The major thing that I want to focus on is what they say about XRP, and it's down here. So we do see in October, the consortium announced that it was conducting another trial looking at alternative traditional interbank global payments using the blockchain platform developed by a company called Ripple, along with its associated digital currency XRP. Ripple is one of the first blockchain startups focused on settlement mechanisms and has partnered with UBS, Santander, and Standard Chartered. And there's a few other banks here as well. We do see banks usually keep foreign currency reserves in what are called notional accounts. $27 trillion was reported to be around these notional accounts in order to be ready to fulfill a cross-border payment. According to R3, this practice essentially forces banks to trap capital. The digital currency XRP, which offers settlement speeds as fast as 5 seconds, Bitcoin can take up to 10 minutes, offers banks an alternative. The trial, which was successful, demonstrated that banks could make markets for fiat currencies using XRP and Ripple Network complete authenticated payments without multiple nostril accounts, enabling them to cut costs and develop additional revenue opportunities. And this is, again, like one of the biggest things that I say around this type of technology. It's not just about making payments faster and cheaper and things like that. No, we're talking about other revenue opportunities, creating value, cutting cost, and ultimately, freeing up trapped capital. It's a big game changer for businesses, companies, banks, you name it. So as we do look at this, like, why will banks use XRP? Why will banks use Ripple? It's because of the efficiencies that are unlocked by utilizing this type of technology. And remember what I've said, like, this has been around for well over a decade. It's tested. It's been tested multiple times. It's been tested in very large markets as well, with high value payments. The tests have been already done. They have been very successful. So as we do look at this, like, Ripple and XRP combined, it's already ready. We're just waiting. We're waiting until the last major step is taken. Now, how long can that, take? We don't know. It could take years. It could take months. We don't know. But when things really start to kick up, when this market becomes a utility-driven market, it's game over. And of course, ECS, right? ECS Fin. They have many, many partners. Fedwire, LexisNexis. There's so many major, names tied to this. And these are also networks that are tied to thousands of financial institutions. And you can look at this all day long. Like, you can look at some of these major names all day long. And what's wild about it is that these are major names that are, again, exposed to Ripple. You do see here clearing and settlement. Under this, we do see that ECS offers direct connection to SWIFT, Federal Reserve, the clearinghouse, various market infrastructure, and central banks for clearing and settling payments. We do see the first big ones, right? The big ones. We also see FedNow. FedNow's here with CNET, payroll. You have SWIFT, Visa B2B, and then you have blockchain, Ripple. You also have Neum, which is a Ripple partner, Bank Direct, API. Like, as we look at this, like, Ripple has exposure to some of the largest payment networks out there. This is why I say, like, focus on those partnerships, focus on these big names, because the domino effect that will happen is going to be very large. Finastra. We've talked about Finastra many times. This is a leader around this type of technology. 8,100 financial institutions. As we look at these names, they are already working with Ripple. They've been working with Ripple for years, going all the way back to 2019, London. It all starts in London. Remember what we've said. Finastra's customers will be able to connect and transact with RippleNet partners, more than 200 financial institutions worldwide. And in turn, partners can access Finastra's vast global footprint. Again, they're teaming up to offer Ripple's blockchain technology through Finastra's payment solutions to support fast cross-border payments. These connections have already been created. And again, all of this does include Ripple and RippleNet itself. Now, mind you, are they using XRP right now? There's a lot of documents that actually support the fact that XRP has been being utilized. And honestly speaking, I'm just going to be real with you guys. The biggest thing about XRP is that we already went through this massive lawsuit for about like, what, 2.5 years now. So much scrutinization, delisting off of platforms, yet it's still in the top, 5, top 10. How has it been in the top 10 for so long? It's because on the back end, XRP is still being utilized. XRP is still one of the leading digital assets in the space, and it will continue to be. XRP is a force to be reckoned with. I see so many people say XRP is trash. Well, why isn't XRP at $0 then? Right? Why isn't the value of XRP 0? It's because XRP isn't trash. It's just the retail sector is so blinded by all of these other assets going, 10x, 20x, 30x. I want you guys to realize that XRP is not a short-term asset. XRP is a long-term major bet that these banks, these financial institutions, they will utilize this technology because it's superior technology. We've talked about Volante. Volante is a big giant. We've talked about them many times on this channel. 150 customers. These are financial institutions. And we also do see that the payments connection all through ISO 20022, real-time payments, APIs, things like that. And we even do see, like, a few years ago, we noticed our customers were using our low-code platform to process payments. Why? Their legacy systems were hard to maintain. They could not handle ISO 20022, real-time payments, or APIs, and they were not cloud ready. And we do see, to free our customers from these limitations, we launched a cloud-native payments platform and soon became recognized as a payments modernization leader. We processed the first US real-time payment and the first instant payment in Saudi Arabia. Our payments as a service processed the first SEPA payment in the cloud. We powered the launch of the first cloud transaction bank. I'm telling you, Volante is a giant. They are a leader. And guess what? They are working so close with Ripple. And I've talked about this many times in the past. Pay attention to the exposure to Ripple. We do see over here, Accenture. Again, another massive giant, 9,000 clients across 49 countries and 200 plus cities. There are so many giants tied to this. Accenture, again, they've been working with Ripple forever, going back 2 years ago. Ripple's partner, Accenture, writes paper with Swift on CBDCs. What's comical about this, if we scroll down, we do see down here, exploring digital currencies, well, central bank digital currencies. And the big one is down here. So according to the document, at least half of the world's central banks plan to develop a CBDC. It's 90% today. 3 main factors contributed to the trend to reduce physical notes, counter the effect of private cryptocurrencies as a threat to fiat, and improve security across wholesale markets. The paper states, whatever the motivation, the momentum towards CBDCs seem clear and growing. Some central banks are already conducting live experiments, and the potential for currency evolution is being framed by some as a possible revolution in how value is exchanged. We also do see a few things around this. And it's leveraging tokens as a bridge currency. Ripple and the XRP ledger as a bridge for CBDCs. The concept of CBDCs moving cross-border is complex. It is technically achievable with various technologies, but the meaning and usage of a CBDC outside its native jurisdictions is unclear. To be practical, some form of interchange mechanism with local currency must exist. What will be required is a multilateral interchange mechanism that enables payments to be made end-to-end in a frictionless form. We do see as well, the paper has gained a lot of attention from the XRP community. Popular community member Wrath of Condiments shared the news, but highlighted that the document must not be interpreted as a sign of a partnership between the 3 companies. And no, we shouldn't, right? But we do see Accenture clearly has multiple relationships with a great number of businesses. The only certain thing is that there is a great interest in the intersection of cross-border transactions and CBDCs. And we know that XRP, for the longest time, has held the role as a bridge currency. Again, we can make assumptions all day, but the big bet is the fact that XRP will be utilized as that bridge currency. Also, the big bet is the fact that XRP will be utilized for cross-border payments, and that all of these major networks that already are exposed to Ripple will at some point in time utilize on-demand liquidity. Of course, powered by XRP. I want you guys to realize that we are seeing a fundamental change to our financial system. This market is still extremely speculative. In my opinion, I've said it, XRP is a vital player. Ripple is spearheading XRP to be utilized between central banks, cross-border payments, you name it. I believe that we are seeing something much larger than what anyone can anticipate. ISO 20022, let's do it, also posted this. Federal Reserve has stated they are providers of the underlying payment rules, plus critical for FedNow third-party solutions to be ready at launch. But you see adopting for real time, looking forward, it will be other players, whether banks or fintech firms, that will develop innovative solutions atop these platforms. In the case of FedNow, it is also critical that these third parties have early access to these systems so that their solutions can be ready for the launch. Guys, we are seeing the financial infrastructure of tomorrow being created. The rails are here. The infrastructure is ready. This is what I've been talking to you guys about, why I believe the case against Ripple was brought on. I believe it was to slow the system down so that the critical infrastructure could be designed, developed, and ready for launch. Things are taking time, but I want you guys to remember that this is the crucial thing to focus on. That things behind the scenes are still moving. They are moving very fast. You need to be prepared. You need to be ready for when things do go fully live. This is why I've been taking this time to accumulate specific assets. I've been taking this time to focus on utility and focus on the things happening behind the scenes and connecting the dots, because what we will see when everything does go fully live, and when proper regulations are in the space, we will see a wipeout of all the garbage, and what we will have left is extremely powerful utility tokens. And those are going to be the tokens that, in my opinion, are significant players around this new financial system. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.